good morning.
I hope that's the opening line is me being like, oh, we look cute. What's up, y'all?
That's hilarious. Why can I? Okay, there we go. Now I can go live on Instagram. I was like, why can't I go live on Instagram? What's going on here? Well, now I understand why. Because there was user error. User error. All right, there we go. All right, good morning, everybody. It is Fly and Mo with Social Surge 25, and we are going to be talking about kind of a big topic right now. Lots of stuff happening in the AI world. And I'd like to bring up a post that our lovely friend, Miss Aviva, mentioned. And it was a LinkedIn post, and she was talking about the fact that like she hasn't ever seen so many emojis and stuff on LinkedIn. And it was kind of funny because I had the comment that I had was the fact that like I've always written in listicles, I've always written with emojis. That's an old radio thing, because when you only have like 30 to 40 seconds to make a point, you do bullet points and everything. And so I'm like, this actually drives me nuts because of the fact that like this is how I write all the time. And so to see a lot of people kind of almost employ that same methodology, and it's such a drastic change from what they've done before, it can be frustrating. So what you wanted to bring up this topic. So Miss Fly, what are your do's and don'ts for AI usage on social?
For sure. So I'm gonna start with a don't. I'm gonna start with a big old don't. And so when we talk about how to use social media in a way that is going to support your business and increase your reach and build familiarity with the audience, of your prospects and your clients, the two things that we talk about a lot are posting and engaging, right? So I have one big don't for engaging and one big don't for posting, but I'm going to start with engaging because this is where when I see a lot of this, especially for folks who are not posting a lot on their own, is the engagement strategy of copying and pasting somebody's post from LinkedIn or X or like whatever, and pasting it into, any, ChatGPT, or if you're using one of the other ones, ChatGPT is the most common, and basically regurgitating exactly what was said in a comment. So it would be like,
okay.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the copy and pasting and like rewording. We can talk about that too. But so you'll see this a lot so like say somebody was going to like take our video right now or like any of the videos we've done, and then they leave a comment that's like, the do's and don'ts of social media and AI usage are like critical to understanding how to surge your social media, a great video, you know what I mean? And it's like, these kinds of comments are incredibly superficial. They do not add value. They don't expand the conversation. I would rather, I would rather see somebody drop a bunch of emojis than copy and paste the point of the post and then repackage it into like a little comment just to get engagement out there. I see this a lot. And
it is not quality engagement. It's just a way and I have to think some of them you can tell are bots or something to that effect. Like, why did you just regurgitate and summarize what we said in this video? Like, how is that meaningful? Like,
right.
I didn't ask you to do the too long didn't read version of this.
Sometimes we do need a TLDR, but I can do my own TLDRs, thanks. But when you think about the point of engagement is to build relationships. Look, we all need support. We all need tools. So these tools are some of the most powerful tools that have ever existed. You should absolutely be using them, but that's why I say that's a don't. And if you are not at a point where you're generating your own material and the main way that you're showing up on social media right now is in responding to other people, which is a great tactic to start to build relationships and build visibility. If you are looking at someone's post and you want to engage, but you're not entirely sure how, a lot of times something that I'll see people do on the end of their posts is like ask a question to people specifically for them to answer and respond. If that doesn't exist, one thing that you could do if you're trying to think of ways to respond is to copy and paste the post into ChatGPT, and instead of saying like summarize this for me and like write a comment, do something like what are 10 questions that this brings up that could expand the conversation, and go from there, right? Like what kind of questions does this topic
should I be asking?
Like what kind of questions should I be asking? Exactly. So instead of regurgitating the post by summarizing it and just trying to farm engagement, you can use these tools to help brainstorm and ideate. And ideation is the biggest thing that this tool can help with in this way. Because if people are only seeing you, I have people on my posts all the time, like just doing the regurgitation summary and commenting. And you can tell, and it doesn't create a meaningful relationship. And I am, if it happens so much, I'm just gonna like block and delete the person off of my account, because it lowers the quality of the content and the comments. And it also has the capacity to like, I don't see you bringing anything meaningful to the table. Why am I going to engage with you in a further relationship that could potentially like move to transacting?
Yep.
You're
brought no value.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a lot of that happens, and it is unfortunate. I love your idea of the fact that if you can't think of something to say, which of course you and I never have that issue. If you can't think of something to say, taking it and throwing it into ChatGPT or whatever platform you like to use, whether it's Claude or whether it's, now it's Anthropic. I don't know if you would throw it into DeepSeek. I haven't even stepped into that yet. So I haven't gone there yet. You could throw it into Grok. You could throw it into just about anything, and then have it help you create and craft the kind of commentary. And you literally could say, the prompt could be, here's a transcript of a video. I would really like to engage with this person or this post in a meaningful way. What are some of the things that would help me engage with this to create meaningful conversation? The
100%.
prompt is only as good as the data points that you put in. The more information that you put into the prompt, the better your response is going to be. People are lazy though, and they don't want to think. Like, if you don't want to think about making a comment, how much are you not going to want to think about making a good prompt, right? So again, the tool is there, but if you're not using it to the best of its ability, I was actually literally, I don't know if I said this to you or if I said this to my kid. I was like, if you put crap in, you're going to get crap out, right? Like, if you put crap prompts in, you're going to get a crap response, because it's only going to give you what you've given it, what you fed it. So I don't know what it is, but I do love your idea that you could take that and create meaningful engagement with it. My big challenge is there's something to be said about, if you want to grow a community online, you need to absolutely engage in the comments meaningfully. Putting a thumbs up, putting, oh, this is great. Like, did you actually read what I wrote? Like, I remember writing a post last year sometime, It was a picture of me and my husband kissing, and it was, we got engaged. And that was the hook, right? And everybody, and then like, if you read further, it's like, no, seriously, we didn't get engaged. Like, we've been married for forever and a day. But this just goes to show that people only read like the first line. Because in the comments, I had so many people tell me, congratulations. I was like, dude, I've been married for forever, right? So make sure that when we're engaging, that we're doing it in a way that is meaningful and can actually support the conversation. Michael Haltman is on X. And good morning. Thanks for saying it's your favorite time of day. But when we're talking about AI do's,
Yes,
you said do. What should you do?
Ideation is great. Figuring out, you know, and not just in talking about engagement, but on the topic or on the idea of the fact that it's only as good, you only get out of it as much as you put into it. If you put in general prompts that don't take into account your style, your tone, you know, your goals, your history, your value proposition, all of the details about what makes you you, which you can, and it does take, you know, some preparation and organization and thought. You can train all of these tools to get to know who you are, what you're all about, to replicate that. But if you're putting in something general, like, I want to write, you know, 7 posts about commercial real estate, blah, 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 right? You're not going to get meaningful content. Now, what the tools are really great for is, again, teaching it the kinds of things that you say, that you do, that you want, you know, whether those are topics, whether those are formats, all of the different things that we've been talking about over the course of these weeks. You can use ChatGPT to generate ideas, generate schedules, generate a bunch of the different parts of the scaffold of how you're pushing out content as a part of a bigger strategy. I very, very rarely would recommend to anyone that the GPTs and the AIs actually write the copy of the post. It's great for getting out a rough draft for you to edit and fill in. It is so much easier to edit something and reshape something that's already in front of you, as opposed to like staring at a blank page. However, the most common thing I see people do is it generates the post. You know, you might do some like, oh, like format this for X, or like format this for LinkedIn. If you tell ChatGPT to format something for LinkedIn, it is going to be not good. It is going to be like, in a world full of commercial real estate, right? Like all of the things that we're like that. And it does that because that is an established style that is average, that is mediocre, that is not at all personal or unique to you.
Right.
And it's great to get in there and have it generate drafts for you, but it needs to sound like you, and you need to have touches on it. And it's the same, it's generally going to just regurgitate the same kind of stuff that everybody else is posting, that we've seen posted a million times. And it's not going to create meaningful relationships because you're posting on a superficial level.
So when I first started working with AI last year, or maybe it was the year before, I know Rod from the Massimo group, obviously I work with him. We had talked about it a lot. He jumped in on it. I jumped in right after he did. It was kind of funny. We were taking some of the same classes. Like, he would pop in. I'm like, what are you doing here? We were already at work together. What are you doing here? But one of the very first things that we were taught when we're training the AI was to have the AI ask you questions like it was interviewing you, right? Interviewing about your writing style, interviewing about your tone, interviewing about how you want to sound, right? And that is like, if that's the first thing that you're ever gonna, if you're gonna dip your toe into playing with AI and you haven't done it before, I would highly recommend have it interview you so it gets to know who you are and what you're about. And then you're gonna take that information and you're going to turn it into a GPT, right? It's $20, I think. Now there's a new one for AI with AI Pro. It's like $200 a month. I'm like, you're smoking crack. Like, I ain't got that kind of dough hanging around, buddy. I got 4 kids, man. Mom, you have $200? So I started playing that around. Hold on. Sorry, squirrel. Welcome to our world. I started playing around with Canvas AI graphic designer, and not only did it help me create graphics in 5 minutes, but the process also viewed the nice creative process in terms of content, subject matter, and unique marketing ideas. I love this. So again, using the tool that's there to help you ideate and help you create something brand new. So when we're talking about how I know, and I'm pretty sure Fly is probably the same way as I am, I can immediately tell when AI has written a post. I can tell it by, one, if I've heard that person speak before and I can't hear them in the copy, I'm like, oh, this is not them. There's also a couple other tells. There's in the world of, in the realm of, in the blink of.
Tapestry, key takeaways. There's one I can't get out of my mind, and it seriously is like somebody, the first line of it was like, reflecting on this event, I feel so thoughtful. And I'm just like, you're a major executive at this organization. And like, okay, here's the other thing is that like, some people just don't care.
This is true. So this isn't the conversation for them. This isn't the conversation for them. And that's true. They just want to pump content out just to say that they checked the box, you know, they've marked it off, that they got it done. When it comes to looking at your copy that ChatGPT does produce for you, go through it and mark it up. Be very, very judicious in the red line. Like, you do not have to have in the world of, in the realm of. You literally can take that off of any sentence that it starts, completely take it off. And if you start the sentence from after that, it still works. Read it out loud. And if it sounds like you, then use it. If it doesn't sound like you, don't freaking use it. It's just as simple as that. I have ChatGPT help me ideate all the time. I started a post the other day, and I sat here for like 5 minutes trying to figure out, like, where the hell do I want to go with this? So I threw it into ChatGPT, and I was like, okay, I want to start off with a negative and end with a positive. Like, that was the instructions, right? Here are the points that I want to make. And it pulled up a post, and I was like, holy crap, that's exactly what I wanted to say. I didn't know how to get it out because, oh yeah, I've been sitting here for the last 8 hours and my brain's kind of dead, right? There's no more creative juice flowing. Cocaine's illegal. They don't let us use it anymore. So just saying.
Darn. You don't want that, y'all. You don't want that. No.
Darn. And so, I mean, you get to a point where you just like, you cannot anymore, right? And so using it like that to help ideate, to help create, but giving it the parameters and the things that you need in there can really help. And again, like I said, read it out loud. If it does not sound like you, if it's words you would never use, probably would be best for you not to use it. Ma'am, you have to get off soon. So
I do. And I want to say, just
one last
thing to add on to that, 2 things. One thing that I do that a lot of the brokers that I work with, I encourage them to do this, is record themselves talking. Record themselves talking naturally and copy the transcript and start to actually look at how you talk. And you don't necessarily need to go verbatim. You can edit it and clean it up and make it legible. I'm definitely guilty of having the ums and the likes and the ums and that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to type all those things out, but I would probably never say in a world full of blah, 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 except if I was like trying to crack a joke, which I am wont to do that. The other thing that I would highly, highly recommend as you're working with these tools and trying to calibrate them to teach them how to get the results that you would like for that to get on their own, if it gives you a post, and you edit it, feed it back to it and tell it what you changed. And you can teach it to not keep making the same mistakes. Now, is it going to be perfect every time? No. Are you going to be perfect every time? No, right? So, and artificial intelligence is based on human intelligence, so it can only be as intelligent as the human putting stuff into it, right? But it is a great editor. It is a great partner and a supplement, right? It's a great augmentation. So if you take the time to craft the right prompts and figure out what your goals actually are, both in your engagement and in what you're actually posting, be true to your authentic voice, right? In the way that you actually speak, and continue to work in tandem with it and continue to feed it what you're actually posting out of it, you will get better and better results, because A, you'll be learning how to use it and prompt it better and better, and B, it will understand more and more the result that you're trying to achieve and to replicate every single time. So that's my soapbox. I gotta get off it.
Okay, real quick, I popped this in while you were talking. Dwayne Burris had a great point. He said, have you ever had a virtual argument with AI? No, that's not what the point I wanted to say, but he said you can say in layman's terms, and think of it as an editor for your company, right? Which is great point. Think of it as an editor, and think about the fact that it's there to help you. It's not there to do everything for you. This is one of those moments where you're going to have to really self-edit all of your commentary and your content. And just know that Fly and I are watching you.
Yeah, we're
right. Social Surge 25 kicks off next month. It's down below. I'll make sure to get it in the link. You're going to learn all this stuff and more. We can't wait to be with you and teach you guys how to create and craft content that converts on social. All right, everybody, have a good day, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. Goodbye.